Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm here to break down the NASCAR Xfinity Series DraftKings slate on Saturday, August 15th at the Daytona Road Course. This is going to be a track nobody's ever raced at. There's going to be no practice, no qualifying, nothing on this track, and they're going to go drive. So it's probably going to be a lot of wrecks, probably going to be just disaster. It's probably a crazy race, honestly. I'm not expecting a lot from it, so it's going to be an interesting one, but we got to prepare for it. We still got to make DFS plays. I think there's still ways we can make money off this, although I do think there's going to be more luck than normal in NASCAR this week. But before I get into all the drivers, if you're new to the channel, make sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, turn on the notification bell. All those things really help me grow the channel, and we've been doing really well throughout all of NASCAR season with growth, and I'm going to continue to do videos for all the NASCAR races this weekend. We got the Xfinity Series race, the Truck Series race, and the Cup Series race on Sunday, so be sure to stay tuned for all that. I also do NBA videos as well, and NFL is coming up very, very soon, as well as maybe college football and hopefully college basketball, so I'll be doing videos for those as well if those sports are going on. If you want to get more of my content, you can subscribe to my Patreon. For NASCAR, for only $10 a month, you're going to get spreadsheets or cheat sheets with all the stats and data you need, along with projections for all three series. Cup, Xfinity, and Truck Series, along with an article, salary tier rankings, cash score for every single week. So be sure to subscribe to that. I'll put the link in the description below. If you want to follow me on social media, my Twitter is at DFSNateLane, and my Instagram is at NateLane_. I'll also put those in the description. But yeah, I think that's all I got to say on that, so let's get into the drivers. So we're at Daytona Road Course, and like I said, this is a track where we haven't raced at before. But I do think the Roval at Charlotte is very similar. It's kind of like got some oval parts to it as well as the road course parts. So those two tracks are similar. So I'm going to be saying a lot of stuff based on how drivers have ran at the Roval in the past, because I think these tracks is about the most similar comp we're going to get to it. So that's what I went with for this track, along with just road course in general as well. This is only a 52 lap race, so like Road America last week, you don't necessarily need a dominator to win. Now, the guy who did lead the most laps and won the race last week was in the winning lineups, but you just don't absolutely need a dominator. But we'll talk about Cindric first then. I mean, he starts on the pole. He has the second best average finish at the Roval and the second best average finish at road courses over the last 2 years. So yeah, I mean, Cindric's fine to go to again. I think it's a great spot. He's been great this year overall, one of the top 2 drivers in the series, and he's been absolutely fantastic at road course over the course of his career. So yeah, I think Cindric is a fantastic play. If there's anyone who's going to lead the most laps, I think it is going to be Cindric, although he does have some more competition on the front row this week than he did last week. But we'll get into those guys. Next we have AJ Omninger, 11,400, starting 11th today or tomorrow. He has one race at the Roval and one win at the Roval, so 100% success rate at the Roval, and he has the best average finish at road course over the last 2 years. So he's been very, very good at them as well. I mean, we just know how great AJ Omninger is. You know, recently we've had Omninger starting like in the 30s, and we get him in 11th this week, so that kind of sucks. There's not as much place differential for him to go, but I mean, we all know he can win this race. I still want to get some Omninger in my lineups. He's someone I definitely want to go for. I mean, this is a race where place differential's king, and finishing position's king though too. So like, if like none of these guys and the next few guys I'm gonna talk about finish up high, you're gonna need these guys to win lineups or to win competitions. But Justin Allgaier, 10,600, I think it's a really good play. Starts 17th. He has the best average finish at the Roval and the 5th best average finish at road course over the last 2 years. He's got a few at road course over his course of his career, wins at those races. So I think Allgaier is a very good play. Starts 17th. He got wrecked down last week, but was having a really good run before that. So I expect him to be a top 5 car again this week, or at least a top 10 car. And he offers that place differential upside that the other 2 guys priced above him don't. All 3 are very good plays for different reasons, but I think Allgaier is probably the easiest one to play. I think it's just, I know he's had struggles this year, but I mean, he's still fast, and this is the track where he should excel at. Daniel Hemrick last week also had problems. Starts 23rd at 10,200. He is the 7th best average finish at the Roval and the 7th best average finish at road courses. So he's a good option. He should be able to get us up inside the top 10 by the end of the race for sure, maybe compete for a top 5. So I think Daniel Hemrick is a very, very good option. All right, this is my favorite play in the entire slate, and it's a guy I've never ever heard of, never ever talked about until this week. Earl Bamber, I think it's how you say his name. It might be Bomber, might be Bamber, I don't know. I'm calling him Earl Bamber. He's a road course ringer. He starts 29th place, but the most important part about this is he's driving the number 21 car for Richard Childress Racing. That's one of the top 5 cars in the field. That car is so fast. We've seen speed out of it all year long with Anthony Alfredo, with Myatt Snyder. We've seen the Richard Childress cars in the past, the speed of Tyler Reddick in past years. So I absolutely love that he's in it. I'm happy that DraftKings priced him up at 99,900. I was scared he was going to be in the 5K range or 6K range because no one ever heard of him, and he just would have been mega chalk. He's still going to be chalk, but I just want to get to Earl Bamber. I mean, I think he's just going to be I think he's just someone who should be able to finish at least in the top 10 and maybe compete for top 5. And I mean, can I say compete for a win? Like, I mean, it's just he's good. He's a good driver. We saw that 21 car with Kaz Carl finished 4th last week at Road America. I think he's just a great play. I don't see why he's not a great play. I mean, yeah, this is his first NASCAR race, but he's in one of the fastest cars, and he's really good at road courses. He's ran here before, all that stuff. So I think he's got an advantage on a lot. I mean, he has some advantage and somewhat of a disadvantage on the field. It's going to be interesting, but I think he's a very good play at 9,900. I'm going to be having my fair share of Earl Bamber. Noah Gragson and Chase Briscoe start 3rd and 2nd. They both are tied for the 3rd best average finish at the Roval. Gragson's the 4th best at road courses. Briscoe is 6th best at road courses. Briscoe won the Indy road course earlier this year. I think they're both good plays, but I like Cindric more. They kind of need to get up front and lead laps. Like, if you're playing any of these guys starting top 5, you want them to win the race. Pretty much. That's what you need them to do. You need them to win a race. And I would not play more than more than one of these guys. Cindric's my top play. I think Briscoe would be 2nd and Gragson. And then, I mean, it's the same thing about Ross Chastain, Justin Haley. I'd say Haley's next up, then Chastain. But I don't think they're as good at these tracks. So I wouldn't get to any Haley or Ross Chastain this week, if I'm being completely honest. Andy Lally starts 6th. He's 3rd best. He ran 5th at Road America last week in a car that's pretty fast. And I mean, I think if there's a little more time, you could have competed for a win. So I think Andy Lally's a fine option. I don't think he's going to be highly owned because he starts 6th, but he can contend for a win too. I'd have some Andy Lally. Brandon Godovich, 9,400, starts 37th. We saw him finish 12th at the Indy Road Course earlier this year. So, yeah, I like Brandon Godovich. He has the upside. Should be able to get up into the top 15, probably finish. So, I think he's a good option at 9,400. Then we go down to Jeremy Clemons at 8,500, who kind of burned everybody last week when he wrecked, but he was having a really good run. He has 10th best average finish at road courses and a 13th best average finish at 10th best at Roval, 13th best at road courses. He has the upside to finish in the top 5. We know his only win in his career is at Road America road course, so I think Clemons has the upside as well. Maybe not my favorite play in the slate, but I think he's good. At 8,500, I don't think a lot of people are going to be on him this week because people are just going to pay $400 less for Snyder, which is fine. So I want to go to Jeremy Clemons as much as possible, or not as much as possible, but I think I want some Jeremy Clemons this week. Alex Lebaye starts at 8,300, starts 16th. He has the 5th best average finish at the Roval and the 12th best at road courses. Alex Lebaye is really good at these tracks. He had a really good run going last week. He was in the top 5, and him and Balicki got into it, and they wrecked. I think it was him and Balicki. Him and someone else wrecked each other, and they just fell all the way back. It sucked, but he was having a top 5 run, competing for the win too. So I want to go back to Lebaye again this week. Hopefully people just looking at the numbers from last week, and they're not necessarily looking at how he actually ran that whole race. So I think Lebaye is a really good option. Myatt Snyder's going to be chalk at starting 27th. Don't look at that stat. He was in the top 5 to 10 the whole race, and he got wrecked. He's really good at road courses. He has been his whole career. I love him starting 27th this week. See, there's just a lot of good plays this week, I think. And he just got Brandon Jones. He's not good at road courses anyway. Look at his numbers. Starts 10th. That's a pass. Preston Pardus is good at the road courses. Average finish of 9 at the road courses this year, but he starts 12th, and I just don't he isn't in a super elite car. It's just not something I necessarily just absolutely want to go to. He just starts too high up for me. I'd rather just pay up a little bit for Snyder or even Clements or Lebaye, or pay down $200 for Jade Buford. Starts 32nd, has the 17th best average finish at road course, and he was having a good run too last week before he got caught up in some trouble late in the race. He's a road course ringer. The car isn't as fast as someone like Earl Bamber's car or Andy Lally's car or even Preston Pardus' car, but he should be able to get a top 15 and maybe even get a top 10 out of it. Michael Annett starts 7th at 7,400. Not someone I really want to go to this week. Just starts too high. 12th best average finish at the Roval and the 14th best average finish at road courses. Scott Heckert, he wrecked out last week, so that 33rd doesn't mean too much, but he's driving for BJ McLeod Motorsports. Car's just not fast. I'd rather just pay up $300 more for Jade Buford personally. I mean, Heckert could get a top 15, but I doubt it. Probably a top 25. is what we're looking at for Scott Heckert. Maybe a top 20, but I'd just rather pay it for Buford. I think he has more upside because Heckert's car is really just not good. Riley Herbst starts 15th. His only road course, he wrecked out last week too, so I wouldn't look into that as much. Finished 23rd, but he is very good at road courses. That's where he grew up driving, so I think he has some upside starting at 15th. I think he'd get up inside the top 5, and I would not be that surprised to see him up there by the end of the race. So he's a sneaky option, I think. Josh Bilicki also maybe is a sneaky option. I mean, he's in faster equipment than what he usually drives at BG McLeod right now, but I mean, he was up front. He was leading the race for a good bit, and him and Lebaye got into it, and it just dropped him all the way back. Like, Bilicki's good at the road course. 17th best average finish at the Roval, but ranks 24th for road course overall. But I feel like he just always gets caught up in some bad luck. Like, at the Indy road course, he was running well, too, and he got caught up in some wrecks and just ruined his race. So I think Bilicki has the upside. 6,900 is not a bad play, in my opinion. Brandon Brown starts too high, starts 13th. He has 11th best finish at the Roval, 16th best at road courses, but I just don't like where he starts. Same thing with Josh Williams, starts too high for me. Same thing with Ryan Sieg, starts too high for me. Tommy Joe Martin's had an 18th place finish last week, but I don't want to go back to him. He started like dead last week. Now he starts 22nd. Average finish of 35. His only run at Roval was 35th place, and a 26.14 average finish at road courses. Not really where I want to go to. Chad Fincham starts 35th. Again, his numbers just don't look good either. I don't really want to go there. Kyle Weatherman starts 26th, 5,900. I do think is a solid option this week. 18th best average finish at the road courses. I mean, it's only 2, but Indy Road Course and Road America, he's ran well. Should be able to get a top 20 for you, maybe even a top 15 if you're lucky. So I think Kyle Weatherman's a good option. I'd rather play him than Fincham or Tommy Joe Martins or even BJ McLeod. Is just really not that good to road courses. Average finish at 23rd is Roval. Average finish at 25.6 at the road courses. I mean, it's not bad, but I'd rather just play for Weatherman. McLeod has never shown to be great here. Jeffrey Earnhardt wrecked out last week, but it wasn't like he was running well. Starts 28th. I don't see a lot of upside for him. Probably can get a top 20, but that's about it. Matt Mills, not someone we ever play. Starts 36th place. He has an average finish of 30th at road courses, just not really good there. Jesse Little starts 24th. I think Little's okay because he can get you a top 15. Maybe get up there and compete for, like a top 15 maybe. So I think he's a decent option starting 24th, but I wouldn't absolutely want to go there. Bailey Curry's car sucks. We never play Bailey Curry. Joe Graff Jr. starts 25th. He always is bad at road courses. I don't want to play Joe Graff. Cody Vanderwall wrecks every single race. Stephen Light starts too high up, and man, Stephen Light I wish started a little farther back because he's in better equipment than he usually is during the season. But I mean, as you see, a 13th best average finish at the Roval, but only 29th best at road courses. But some of those races he's in really bad equipment. Like he had a good run last week. I think he finished 21st. So Stephen Light is someone that I would be interested in. Maybe he has some upside. At 4,700, he may not kill you if he doesn't fall back. If he can hang around top 20, if he can finish 17th to 21st, he could pay off that salary, and that could actually end up being a good option. Mike Wallace hasn't run too well to road course this year. The cheap value is really not that much this week, so that's why I more like to maybe just pay for Allgaier instead of Omninger, and then Earl Bamber, and then just try to go down in here some more and get some Buford. But I mean, that's really all I got to say on this race. There's not really a lot to go into a racetrack where they've never ran at before. You just kind of got to look at past sort of comps to this track. So I know this was a really short video, not a ton of information, but it's a new track. There's not a ton of information out there for these drivers. So hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll just go over my top, out of the top guys starting the top 6, I'll rank them again. I have Cindric 1, I'd say Briscoe 2, I think Lally 3, Gregson 4, Haley 5, Chastain 6. Out of the guys who start in the back, I really like Earl Bamber. I think Hemrick's fine. Brandon Godovich is good. Mike Snyder's good. Buford's good. I don't really want to go to Heckert as much. Those are really all the guys starting in the back. I think Bilicki has some upside. I think Herbst has some upside. I think Jesse Little has some upside. Alex Lebaye, I think, has a good bit of upside as well. So that's sort of what you're just chasing with the rest of your lineup. But, that's really all I got to say. I'll write up an article for the Patreon if you guys want to come check that out. I'll get the projections out there soon as well. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys have a great weekend of watching NASCAR. Hopefully we make some money. Make sure to check out my other videos for the Truck Series and Cup Series, which are coming out soon. One of them will probably be today, the other one tomorrow or on Sunday morning. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Make some money.